What's going on, guys? Good morning. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are doing well. We've got some college football prospect videos coming out a little bit later, but we're going to start the day off with a different video because Football Insights, great account on X, put this tweet out there last night, and I was gravitated towards it because I find this to be really fascinating and also really useful because we're definitely getting to the point in the season where we have enough data to start making some pretty powerful conclusions, right? We can't put a bow on it and wrap it and say that this is just all we need to know. But we can definitely start drawing some conclusions about tendencies and what works and what doesn't work with 6 games of evidence. So we're going to take a look at this tweet here, basically taking a look at personnel packages and success when in those personnel packages. First, though, let's take 60 seconds to talk about Sleeper. All right, guys, let's take a minute so I can tell you about Sleeper, a one-stop shop for all your sports needs. You can celebrate and chat on sports games in real time with other users. You can get the fastest scores, blazing fast sports news and sports alerts right at your fingertips. And of course, you can use Sleeper to play in fantasy leagues and win real money on picks contests. This is the way sports were meant to be enjoyed together. So download Sleeper today. Use promo code SBN to get up to a $100 match on your first deposit. And you can pair that with another promo they have right now where you can get a $20 entry free with no deposit required. So get both of those things going. Terms and conditions apply. See Sleeper's terms of use for details. Currently operational in over 25 states and growing. So check out Sleeper today. Get to it and go have some fun with sports this year. All right, welcome back. So what we have here are the top 5 personnel packages the Seahawks use, and really the only 5, right? If there's a 6th one, it's probably like 1 or 2 plays, just very sporadic and fluky things that come up kind of randomly, almost as like a trick play, not meaningful for data. But you have 11 personnel, you have 12, you have 21, you have 22, and you have 13. I'll talk about what that means in a second, but then you have the number of plays that have been run in those packages, and corresponding rate. You have EPA when in that package. You have EPA rank when in that package, EPA per pass, and EPA per rush when in those packages. Basically, it's telling you how often is your team doing this thing and how successful are they when they are in those things. So the number one in terms of rate, and it's actually very close here, and understand that 11 personnel has kind of become base personnel for every NFL offense. The Seahawks run 11 personnel at a less than 35% rate. That is probably, if I had to guess, one of the lowest rates in football, if not the lowest. Most teams are running 11 personnel at well above 50%. There are teams out there that run it basically nonstop. Some teams live in it. So it's first, but by no means are the Seahawks favoring 11 personnel when compared to almost every other team out there. So 11 personnel is 1 tight end and 1 running back, right? Or 1 running back, 1 tight end, so 3 wide receivers. 12 personnel is 1 running back, 2 tight ends, and then 2 receivers. 21 would be 2 running backs, 1 tight end. 22 is 2 running backs, 2 tight ends. And this number would probably be higher, by the way, if we didn't lose Oots a couple weeks ago. And then 13 personnel would be 1 running back, 3 tight ends, so that's basically just jumbo, right? You go on the goal line, you go on 4th and 1, stuff like that. So that's how things are distributed for this offense. And let's take a look at the results so far. So there are 2 packages the Seahawks do that they have been terrible in, which is 21, which is 2 backs, 1 tight end, and 13, which is 1 back, 3 tight ends. Yeah. Sorry, guys. It's easy to get the tight end and running back numbers swapped there. But yeah, they've been terrible there. They rank 28th in the NFL in EPA on 13, negative 6.53. So basically when they go jumbo, things are very, very bad. But it's only 19 plays, whatever. When they go 21, so this would be one tight end, but then a fullback and a running back, they're also very bad. They rank 26th, negative 6.03. So that's a little bit discouraging, I would say, because what that indicates is that when we're going with our fullback, when our fullback is on the field, we're not seeing very good results. So that part of the offense hasn't really taken off yet. And then they are bad, but not terrible in two areas, which is 22. That's fullback, fullback, running back, and two tight ends. They're 21st, so still negative with their EPA, but not terrible. And then they're also bad, but not terrible when it comes to 11 personnel. So it's not, a red flag yet, but it's not good. The EPA negative 4.59. So they have a negative EPA from 11 personnel. Probably one of the few teams in the league that can say that. So where are they having success? If you've been watching this team so far this year, you probably already know, but let's spell it out here. The Seahawks are an absolute monster when they go to 12. When they have two tight ends, one running back on the field, which they have done over 31% of the time so far this year, their EPA is 48.6. That is otherworldly. It ranks first in the league, and I can pretty much guarantee it ranks first in the league by a massive margin. I don't know exactly by how much, because I haven't seen all this data yet, but it's massive. Just to give you an idea, their EPA per pass is 0.78, okay? Their EPA per pass is 0.78, right? If you go to RBSDM and you sort just in general, not personnel package-wise, by dropback EPA, the highest is the Seahawks, 0.336, but the point is, 0.336, that's not even half of their EPA per pass from 12. And then you have other teams that are a little below them, like Green Bay, New England, Detroit. The highest dropback EPAs in the entire NFL aren't even close to half as good as the Seahawks from 12. And EPA per rush, 0.13. That doesn't sound great, but actually, it is great. It's extraordinary. If you sort by rush EPA, the Colts lead the way by far. They're at 0.084. So a little bit more than half. So they're more than halfway to us, but they're still nowhere near how effective the Seahawks have been when running from 12. And by the way, the Colts lead rush EPA by a massive margin. Second place is the Panthers. They're at 0.053. And then third place is the Chiefs, 0.02. And then you have Dallas and Buffalo are the only other teams that even have a positive rush EPA. So that's insane. And you usually don't have a positive EPA per rush in general. Like you can see, only 5 teams have a positive rush EPA right now. And that's kind of typical. Usually I think it's a few more, but running the ball is typically not creating points for you. It's pretty rare. It's more of a thing to balance out your offense, to set up the pass. But ultimately in the NFL these days, you pass the ball to gain expected points, and then you run the ball to kind of basically balance out the offense so the defense can't just sit on the pass all day. I think you get it. But the Seahawks are out of this world when they go to 12. And if you've been watching the team, that might not surprise you, but it might surprise you that this is one of the great NFL offenses of all time when they do 12. And it does highlight how, as much as the Seahawks have done a good job of throwing out a lot of different personnel packages and throwing a lot of interesting wrinkles at these opposing teams, they're really only excelling in one area and everywhere. And when it comes to personnel anyway, and again, that doesn't speak to who's out there. Like the back could be Walker or Charbonnet. The tight ends could be Barner and Arroyo. It could be Arroyo and Saubert. It could be Barner and Saubert. Whatever. There are a few different individual packages within the personnel package that might be working really well. But what I'm trying to get to here is that that is the only personnel package that they're effective in right now. Now, they do have a positive EPA when throwing out of 11 and out of 21, but barely. And you can see how bad their EPA per rush is when they run the ball out of any non-12 personnel package. Like, they are way behind the 8 ball when running the ball with a fullback on the field. So, unfortunately, I can't say that it looks like Robbie Oots is going to be the cure for our rushing attack. What I can say, though, is that maybe we don't need him because 0.13 EPA per rush is insane, and we're doing that without him. We're doing that without him on the field, regardless of him being healthy or not. So we're going to keep an eye on this as the season goes on, but this tells a very, very, very firm picture. The Seahawks are out of this world in 12 personnel. When they get that 2 tight end offense going, and maybe this is the best possible defense of having drafted Elijah Arroyo. I mean, I would still say that there are plenty of other tight ends that could be doing what Arroyo is doing right now and probably be about as good and would not have cost anywhere near a second-round pick. Or you could have gotten a better tight end in the second round and been even better, I guess. I don't know how you can really be better than 48.6 EPA on 106 plays. But regardless, I guess if you want to try to defend it, the best you can do is this team is unstoppable when they're in 12. And some of this stuff is small sample size, right? Like, I think Darnold's interception against Pittsburgh on the 4th down might have been out of 13 personnel. Maybe it was 22. Like, that's going to skew the number a little bit. Eventually, that'll fade away a little bit. But we still have enough data here to come to some pretty significant conclusions, I think. All right, see you guys later. Go Hawks. Let me know what you think. More videos coming soon.